Guys, I have a new MCU crush, and their name is Kamala. Is dad. Kamala's dad. Dude's a hunk. What a Chad. When Miss Marvel started, my friends and people that I know were either saying that it was cringe or they just didn't watch it because it looked bad. But because it is a Marvel thing and I felt, I'm obliged to watch these movies and shows forever for the rest of my life, I decided to watch it. And let me say that with the other Disney Plus MCU series like Hawkeye and Moon Knight being somewhat disappointing, I was not excited for this show. So I went into this not really expecting much. But now that it's over, I can confidently say that it's actually kind of good. Does this show have problems? Yes, definitely. And I'll get into those things. But let me focus on some of the good things in this show first. First of all, Iman Vellani is amazing as Kamala. Amazing. I think I've said this before, but Marvel actors have to have that charisma to them. They have to seem likable, they have to seem funny and interesting. And I think that Iman Vellani both has that as an actress and as Kamala, which is good. I mean, goddamn. I mean, Kamala has more personality in this show than Captain Marvel has in like any movie she's been in. So she's got that on her. One thing that I think they did right was they made Kamala feel like a real kid going to high school in the modern day. Now, some people may dog on the MCU Spidey trilogy, but I like it a lot because they perfectly capture what it is like to be a high schooler. I think one thing that the MCU nails almost every time is understanding what high schoolers are like and what it would be like for a high schooler to be a superhero. And again, they do a really good job of that in Miss Marvel. I think from the beginning of the show, it seems obvious that the people making it knew exactly the tone and the style they wanted to go with. I freaking love films and shows that have a specific identity and style, and I have to say that Miss Marvel has some goddamn style, okay? It has style. I mean, God, it has more style than this movie. Hey, look at that. Made fun of Captain Marvel twice in one video. I mean, in the first episode alone, we see the coolest shot I've ever seen. Like it's the one where Kamala is laying down on the couch. And I mean, look at this camera work. It's mwah. It's chef's kiss. Beautiful. Love it. Then we have this super cool animation that shows up on the wall while the characters are talking about what costumes they want to wear. And my God, this goes so hard. Oh, and also when the characters are texting each other, you can see what they are texting through the environment behind them. Like, damn. I love that. This show, it's just got style. I mean, it's definitely one of the most stylistic things in the MCU. I'm glad that the MCU is getting a little more stylistic with its camera work and its direction, because I was getting sick of this shit right here. Haha, I got you, Captain Marvel, 3 times in one video. You're getting made fun of 3 times in one video. So yeah, the camera work slaps. The stylistic choices slap. But does the story slap? Well, it kinda does. It kinda does. There is a lot about this story that I just straight up hated. One thing I hate is that they changed the powers of Miss Marvel. Again, listen, I understand that you didn't want to have 2 people in one universe with stretchy powers, but do you realize that you are about to have like 3 Iron Man characters? And probably another Spider-Man soon, and Nova, who literally has the exact same powers as Captain Marvel? Keeping her powers as stretchy powers would not have made any difference. You're treating your audience like a bunch of dummies who wouldn't get it, but give them a little more respect than that, my man. Come on, Kevin. Give them a little more respect. I'm looking at you, Kevin. I know it was you. Another thing that I was kind of mixed on, and major spoilers here, but Kamala is a mutant in this universe. Now, if you're a big old nerd like myself and you ever touched a comic or know even a little bit about Miss Marvel, you would know that she has inhuman abilities. She is an inhuman. In the comics, her origin is actually kind of simple. There is just this mist that exists. It's called Terrigen Mist. It gives people inhuman abilities. Kamala gets them by accident and becomes Miss Marvel. Pretty simple, right? They tried to make it more complicated in this show for some reason. In the show, Kamala gets this bangle that gives her weird cosmic powers. But then it turns out that she has powers already inside of her. And the bangle just enhances the powers? or something. But then it turns out that her great-grandmother's from another dimension, and that's why she has powers. And she also has to help these people that were with her great-grandmother get back to their own dimension. Then at the end, when everything is better, she finds out that she is actually a mutant. Apparently, she got a mutated gene from her great-grandmother, which makes her a mutant. Okay, I'm just gonna need you to hold on for a second, and I just gotta say, what the fuck? Now, despite the fact that this is dumb and needlessly overcomplicated for both people who read comics and people who don't, I do understand why they did it. They needed to introduce mutants into the MCU, but had no idea how to do that, so having Kamala be one instead of being an Inhuman, it just made sense. I get it, and I don't really care. It doesn't bother me that much. Maybe a little, but whatever, I don't care, it's fine. I get it. Like I've said though, I think it does overcomplicate Kamala's fairly simple origin story in the comics, but I guess it was because they needed to rush through the story because it's only 6 episodes. That is probably the biggest problem that this show has and a lot of Disney Plus shows have. Having 6 episodes isn't enough to tell a good story or a good TV show. In Ms. Marvel, the first 3 episodes are actually kind of fun and they're kind of good. I really like the first 3 episodes. We see Kamala just hanging out with her friends and family, and that's probably the best part of the show. I would have taken a show where Kamala is just chilling with her friends and being a regular teenager with, occasional superhero duties, which is basically half of this show. But the show goes into a weird direction when it starts to talking about different dimensions and Kamala's magic grandmother and stuff. I kind of just wish this show was as simple as it was in its first 2 episodes, because those 2 episodes and the last episode are awesome. Because they're just 3 episodes where Kamala and her friends are just chilling, hanging out, fighting crime together, and it's sick. But then they go into time travel and different dimensions, and I understand that it goes into that so it can explain why Kamala has cosmic powers. But it takes away from the simple story that I was enjoying before it went down this route. Half of this show is really, really great, and I really like it. But the other half is just overcomplicated and honestly not that interesting. If this show gets a second season, I would be so down with a more grounded story. Just have Kamala and her friends just fighting crime, fighting villains together. I want to talk about something real quick, so let me talk about this. You want to know why I like Spider-Man Homecoming so much? Because it's a story about Peter and his friends trying to figure out how to defeat the Vulture. It's just a grounded and personal story that doesn't need to go into like a big cosmic event. It's just a small story about a grounded character trying to figure out how to fight a villain with his friends. It doesn't try to go too big, and I enjoy that. Now, Ms. Marvel can be grounded and personal at times, but it tends to lose that and try to go too big and go into this crazy story about time travel and dimensions. Despite this, I think the show is still fun and it's pretty good, but it isn't great, which is unfortunate because it's just so close to being great. So I guess I should wrap it up now. So I am going to give Marvel Studios' Ms. Marvel a 7.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's really fun, but I think it overcomplicates a simple origin story. Not to mention that it also has the same problem that every Disney Plus Marvel show has had, and that is that it's a 6-episode format, and that just doesn't work, and it doesn't give the writers enough time to properly pace a story. When you're making a show, you shouldn't go into it with the idea that you're making a 6-hour movie, because that's just stupid. You are making a TV show, not a movie. Personally, I think these Disney Plus shows need an extra 6 episodes to tell a cohesive story, but you know what? I'll see what they do with like the new Daredevil. That's supposed to be 18 episodes. That'll be cool, I guess. Anyways, that is the review. Ms. Marvel, it's pretty fun, but it's got obviously problems. If you like the video, then hit the like, and why don't you subscribe too while you're at it? Anyways, remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay sexy. Okay, bye!